BrickVault. Today in front of us is a very fun, very familiar little build. This is Lego Luke's Landspeeder in minifig scale, and this original design comes from my brother Charlie. He tried out a couple of different building techniques on this one, and I hope you all enjoy his iteration of this classic design. Before I jump into the details of this custom build, I do want to say that if you wanted to build this on your own, we do sell the instructions at our web store, www.brickvault.toys. Included with each purchase is a PDF step-by-step building guide as well as a digital parts list so you can order the pieces you need online very quickly and easily. Any and all support from you guys is always greatly appreciated. We love pushing ourselves and the Lego bricks to the limit of their complexity and connectability, and we wouldn't be able to dedicate nearly as much time, effort, or energy to designing or working with amazing designers from all over the world if it wasn't for the support of you guys watching. So thank you for your support so far. There's always that link in the description below. And now let's get into the details of this model, because I am sure that you have definitely seen many versions of the Landspeeder in Lego before. I think there's maybe 3 or maybe 4 sets, and it's also just one of those models that designers love to tackle in the custom building world. It's small, it's iconic, and the ways to approach these curvy, intricate, retro little shapes is relatively limitless. But before we jump into the details, let me just get the basics out of the way. This is built to minifig scale, which means it scales with a Lego minifigure and all of the other minifig scale Star Wars ships that we have up in the web store right now. This makes putting together larger dioramas a lot more fun because all the ships and all the vehicles will look like they belong together in a larger setting. And specifically for the Landspeeder, you can fit 2 minifigures as well as a couple of droids on the back. R2 just sort of lays on top of the Landspeeder from what I can tell in A New Hope, so that's what you can do with him here in the model as well. And let's go a little bit out of order in this episode. I'll show you guys the handling of this model first. You'll see some of the design features along the way here. Both the minifigs fit into the Landspeeder with 2 studs each, and it's a pretty tight but very comfortable fit. Nothing is bending or bowing during this process. And once you've got the model in your hands, it's extremely casual to handle and move around. The top engine is attached by 1 stud, so you can kind of wiggle that, but really that's the only thing to take note of, or notice, I suppose, when moving this custom build around. The other smaller side engines are basically the only other extremities on this model, and they're attached rock solid. You can pick this ship up from any little point. But let's take a look at the underside now. This is where I think a bit of the building technique really shines through, because the number one thing that makes this model different, I think, than other ones out there is the fact that there are 3 flexi tubes layered on top of each other. It makes that nose nice and round in the front, and the only way for this bit to actually work at this scale is if you reverse the studs on the underside of the model. Now, with that simple design choice made, a lot of the rest of this build goes into figuring out the chaos of making all those different studs connect, both in a strong way and also in a way that is beneficial to the overall look of the build. This build approach attempts to highlight those curved, shiny metallic slats that round the nose of the speeder, while at the same time trying to push forward the rounded bit of the curved front. As you might be able to guess, it takes a bit of finesse and dexterity to properly get these flexi tubes to form out in the shape that you want, but the end result isn't just a completely unique build approach. I think you also get a little bit of added extra details that normally isn't found in a minifig scale speeder. My brother also had some fun putting together the engines, especially the one that's been a bit mangled. You can see it's been detailed with a couple of whip pieces, very tightly wrapped. And on a personal level, I think one of the details I enjoy the most out of this build is the use of that arch piece just behind that engine, or either side engine, which I think just captures the curve of the back of the ship a little bit better. At the end of the day, though, we are just looking at a little Landspeeder build. I don't know how many tiny details I can really focus on throughout this episode, and ultimately we're just very happy with the way this Landspeeder turned out. The goal was to balance the 3 main factors of scale, accuracy, and strength, while at the same time introducing something a little bit new to a design that has been so so well treaded. Frankly, it's actually pretty intimidating making this video. In a weird way, it feels like Luke's Landspeeder is similar to a chair, and like every designer tries to put together a chair in a slightly different way. There's always a billion million ways to do it, and at some point every designer takes a crack at it. Well, this is the BrickVault Studio crack at the Lego Landspeeder, and I hope you enjoyed watching this episode. Remember guys, if you did want to try to build this on your own, you can find the building instructions at our web store, www.brickvault.toys. These are always really fun videos to make, and if you have any ideas on other types of custom builds you want to see in the future, please feel free to let me know in the comments below. As always, you can like or subscribe if you haven't already, click that bell notification, all that jazz. Thank you so much for watching everyone, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.